£10 million for the City ground. Well, we told you last week. Welcome to your latest Forest news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. Coming up on today's video, we'll talk to you about the latest details that have been released from the Athletic on Forest and the City ground and the cost of it, which anyway we told you guys about last week. But hey, you know. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And happy birthday to Phil from your wife, your lovely wife, Susie. Apparently you're 52 today. I'm wondering if she's got those digits the wrong way around, because you look 25 to me, matey. And just a quick reminder, on the Callum Hudson-Odoi and Elanga double signed framed shirt, there are still a few tickets left for that. You've only got a few hours to get your tickets. The link's pinned in the comments down below. Good luck to you if you go in for it, because this is a one-off special prize. I've not seen it on football prizes before. So go grab those last few tickets if you want to be able to win it. Okay, let's get into this. Now, we told you last week on Gore that the City ground was potentially, was available for Forest to buy. And we told you, we hinted at you, that it would cost less than Matt Turner or Emmanuel Dennis to get it done. Well, the actual number is now out in the public domain, so we can talk about it. And that is £10 million. And that is cheap. But what's cheaper than that was Forest's offer for it of £4 million. So Forest don't even want to stump up the 10 million. And what's even cheaper than that, I think, is the rhetoric being used by Tom, because he's been talking about the leasehold going to cost us £250 million over 250 years. That's over £1 million a year, etc., etc. Yet at no point was he talking about buying the freehold. And you really have to start to ask questions about why. In what business sense or in what logic does it make sense to spend £250 million over 250 years, or just pay £10 million up front? And probably not up front. I'm sure there'd be some kind of payment plan or something to get that over the line. Even if you add interest to it, say another £5 million on interest or whatever it costs, £15 million for the future of Forest versus 250 million, it seems like a no-brainer. But the fact that they haven't been talking about it, the fact that the likes of us have had to talk about it, that the Athletic have come out and said it, really does start to feel like they want to push this move through. And look, my position still is, if you can develop the City ground and make it fit for purpose in terms of being a Premier League stadium, then that has to be the number one choice. We've heard so much over the last years about the rowing club this, the Peter Taylor stand that, we'll have it done by 2027. Oh wait, we've had to delay it, the shipping containers. It all now starts to feel like stalling tactics. And it all starts to feel now like, okay, we've secured our Premier League status for another season. Unlucky Luton. So why do we not just get on with this now and make a decision? And if the decision is to move, why are they not consulting with the fans first? Now, even the Supporters Trust, who you guys know my opinion on, they released some stuff a few months ago about statistics they'd put together, who would be up for a move, who wouldn't. Now, I don't trust them with anything, but at least there needs to be at least that as a minimum engagement from the club. They've had their fab sessions as well where they've spoken about it. But the engagement for me is way short of what it needs to be. And you have to start wondering as well, with Tom being the one who's been the face of all of this in the presser, and he just wants to remind us constantly that he's a Forest fan, he loves the City ground, and I don't know, whatever else he was saying about how he snuck in as a kid. We get it. It almost feels forced by now, man. You don't need to sing your biography every single time you're interviewed. But you have to ask about his other interests, because his background is in this property side of things. And obviously I don't know the details, But you wonder, is there any kind of connections there that could potentially not really suit the agenda of Forest and maybe suit some corporate agendas as well? And that does worry me. And if that's the case, and like I say, I know nothing, and you have to be careful when you're talking about these things, but I think there needs to be transparency on that. And if there is a major connection on those two, then he needs to recuse himself from this, and someone else needs to be spearheading this campaign. And on top of that, look, if Forest were, let's just say Forest did buy the ground of the for the city ground, that will not necessitate that Forest will build a stadium there, because that ground is obviously worth good money in West Bridgford, etc. Good piece of size of land. What you could find is that Forest buy the land, build the stadium elsewhere, and then build, develop, and do whatever with houses or something in that area. Because it would cost them 10 million for that land. Let's say cost of building houses is going to be a few more million, whatever it is. Long term, that would make the club a lot of money. And I just wonder if that's coming onto their radar at all. And it just does feel like the club is now railroading us away from the city ground into other locations. But if they're going to do that, it can't be where they're suggesting is too far away. It needs to be something more central. And I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I don't like how this is going. And as I've said before, look, if the club come forward and put a case down, this is why we need to move. This is the benefits, X, Y, and Z. Then, and these are the cons on staying at the city ground. Maybe they come out and say, we can't get planning permission for the Peter Taylor stand. We can't move the rowing club, whatever BS else they come up with. Then I think as fans, we can sit down and kind of take sentiment and emotion out of it and say, okay, well, this option is on the table. That option's on the table. We still feel the benefit is to stay at the city ground, for example. Or we may look at it and say, this new location is, I don't know, behind the county ground, not that dissimilar to where we are now. It would be bigger. It would be all singing, all dancing. It's still central to, you know, the train line and everything for fans coming in, or buses or what have you. Okay, we might be able to stomach this. But at the moment, it just feels all we're getting from the club is finger pointing back at the council. Now, I'm not saying I think the council are innocent in all of this, but the more I'm hearing and the more people I'm talking to, the more I feel that it's becoming a PR battle out front, in the public eye, and that Forest are trying to force some issue to say it's basically not their fault. We have to move because the big bad council. So I don't like this. But probably now is getting towards the right time to speak about it, because Forest have secured Premier League safety. Unlucky, Luton. Go enjoy your airport. And this is probably the time. But what I don't want is another dialogue for another year. And then in a year's time, we start hearing about more shipping containers and crap. Or, oh, we can't do this because of this problem. It's just been going on for years and years, and I've had enough. So it's time to make a decision. What they should do is, if they can buy the freehold, if they can turn those stands, enclose the whole stadium for me, if it's possible. There's talks that you can put another 5k in the Bridgford end, another 10k in the new Peter Taylor stand. Maybe close the corners at the Trent end as well, if that's possible. I know there's all kind of issues and planning permissions, etc. But then you would get a stadium that is fit for purpose for the Premier League. But just don't drag this one out. Don't drag this one out. So the main news is that, as we confirmed to you last week, but now it's out in the public domain, City Ground, £10 million, get it done, move on, start then the development process. But what do you guys think now? There were some of you who didn't mind a move to a different location, but now knowing I know 10 million, I mean, oh my God, give me 5 million, I'll be more than happy. But 10 million in the scheme of this, in what we're talking about, is peanuts. It really is. And the question needs to be answered by Tom. There's two questions for me. Why have you never spoken about the freehold before and buying it? Why have you pushed this leasehold agenda the whole time about how it's tripled, quadrupled in terms of the rate? Secondly, why have Forest only offered 4 million? Is that a token offer to cover your backs, to say, well, we tried to offer, we didn't think the valuation was right, we don't want to be ripped off, we offered 4 million, they didn't take it, now we have to move. And why have you not spoken yet to tell us about this? Those are my questions to him. What would be your questions to Tom? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. Hurry up and go grab your tickets for the Elanga Hudson-Odoi combo deal. I'll leave the link for you in the end screen and in the comments down below. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.